Hey there YouTube, this is SGM436 back with another mini disc related video. Now, I've gotten this guy probably about a year ago, and this is a MZ-RH10, and this is kind of the sister version, the M100, which I believe is like the Mac compatible version. Anyway, they're basically the same internally, other than color of the outer shell. But the issue that I'm having is this guy that I bought before, the screen works perfectly, but it won't read discs, like at all. And I've taken it apart, I've cleaned the laser head and all that, and it seems to be probably either the laser diode is out or maybe something having to do with the calibration. Um, so basically, I can't even recognize any disc, which is really a shame. And I got this guy for pretty cheap. But the thing is, a lot of them that you find on eBay nowadays, like sub $100, have the OLED display that they use, which is a really nice display, but they fade over time. And so this unit that I got this for super cheap. I got the seller down from $50 to about maybe 30, and basically the screen just doesn't work at all. I just inserted a disc and inserted the AC adapter and tested that out. That works. The battery door is kind of corroded, so I'm going to see about replacing that. But basically what I'm going to do is I already opened this guy up and the screen works 100%, and here's the screen, and I'm just going to swap the front board if this will stop sticking. Basically there's a ribbon cable that goes around to the back of the board, and it plugs in right here. This is the PCB for this guy, and so I'm just going to go ahead and swap that out. One other difference I noticed was this is actually a European model. It's CE marked instead of our markings here, but yeah, this is a EU model, EU only, and it had the volume limit on there, though you could firmware mod it to remove that by entering the service mode. But anyway, I have this shell and I'm trying to decide. This one's black and quite a bit scratched up. This one's silver and in nicer condition, with the exception of a crack on the LCD window. So I'm kind of deciding what parts of the case I want to keep, what's damaged and whatnot. But anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and for starters swap out the main the LCD, basically this front panel here, which you can see is sitting on the front there with the serial number. And so let's get this guy open. These are not the easiest things to open, unfortunately, so I'm probably going to do that off camera and get back to you guys once I have it exposed enough for me to do the transplant. I just had the board plugged into the old one just to show you guys that the screen does indeed work, as if I press down the lid switch, it comes right on. There is some burn-in on this screen and it's not perfect. It's not, you know, very, very bright, but it definitely works and it's definitely good enough. So anyway, let's get down with the teardown. Okay, so to get this guy open, there are basically two screws, one in each corner on this back side. There's one screw you have to open up the battery bay in the corner, as well as on the side here. And then there's a sneaky hidden screw. If you open the disc open latch, there's one hidden right underneath the actual switch itself. And you basically want to lever it open from the battery side, kind of like a book. You want to open it like that, gently pulling to clear the battery terminals, the external battery carriage terminals on this side. And basically the last thing that'll leave would be the jacks, which are recessed into the plastic there. And so once you get that open, it's easy. Another thing, you have to remove the battery door. There's a little metal finger you can see here on the top there that looks like an L. You actually have to take a little pliers, or not pliers, tweezers or a toothpick, and kind of lever that up, and then you can pull the battery door straight out. The plastic part will just slide right off like that, and then you're going to be able to get in here. Here I put a disc in. This is just some random music that I have. I put the new LCD in. I removed the old one. The old one's still stuck in the shell, which is actually kind of glued in, and we're just going to do a quick test. There we go. And if it reads, I'll be happy. There we go. Works. So the screen looks very nice. So let's get this replaced into the new housing and whatnot and get this all buttoned up. Okay, so once you get to this point, this is the new LCD. The old one that does not work is here. I keep saying LCD, OLED. Sorry, I think they call it EL, but it looks to me like it's just a regular old OLED because I don't see any high voltage switching. And OLEDs require generally lower voltages. But anyway, basically there are two little fingers in here. You have to remove 4 screws, and then you can lift it up from this side, being careful because there is some adhesive holding the screen in around the edges there, you can see. So anyway, once you're done, you can put the new one back in and just sort of button it up, and then you can screw it back in. I changed the color of some of the buttons, and obviously the wheel there is the old color because there are no connectors. If you actually wanted to remove the old scroll wheel, you'd actually have to desolder it, take this entire board off, desolder it, and there's a ribbon cable, flat flex, and desolder it and then solder the other one, and the chances of me damaging something is kind of high, so I'd rather not risk it. And also the chances of getting replacement parts for this device are pretty much slim, limited to finding other broken ones, unfortunately. So anyway, this is good enough. I'm gonna button this back up, put it back together, and there's one last thing that I want to do after this. Okay, so I cleaned off the battery contact on the bottom there. I inserted a battery, which I believe hopefully has a charge. I ended up swapping out the buttons too. The original ones were kind of similar to the case color. I thought it would look cool to have a bit more contrast to kind of match the different color wheel now. So I swapped it out for the silver unit, and I swapped the back out too, so it's silver on the back and black on the front. I partially did this because there are less scratches on the silver unit. I did damage last time the bezel on the silver unit, so I swapped it out. I kept the black one, and it's all back together. And let me just insert a disc and show you the display works and my battery's low. Okay, now I am up and ready, so you can just press stop and yeah, it's charging the battery, or let's see if it plays. Gonna need to polish out some of the scratches, but yeah, you can see everything works. It's starting to play. Just stop that and put it into charge mode. So yeah, this is fully working now, and it's sort of a hybrid system now, which is really cool. It's customized, I guess you could say. Yeah, these guys do not go for cheap online. You can see the display dims if you're not touching any of the buttons after a while. But yeah, these guys aren't cheap, as I said. Usually the cheapest ones I find are like 100 or 200, and those are the ones that are in not good condition with dead screens. Working ones of these, fully working in decent condition, usually easily go for like $400 or $500 or more, which is ridiculous. So the fact that for handily under $100, using 2 different units with opposite problems, essentially, I was able to get one working unit, and this is beautiful. Just gonna have to polish out some of these scratches, and this will make a really handy portable recorder and player. Yeah, so this is awesome. I've always wanted a high MD unit. I do not have any high MD discs. I'm gonna have to look for them, but I know they're expensive, and that kind of stinks. But I have plenty of 80-minute and 70-minute UMDs, so that'll be fine, good enough. This does record into PCM, which is really nice. I'm gonna have to have a play with that, as well as if you hook it up to a computer via USB, you can actually write any data to the drive as if this were like a CD burner or a DVD burner, which is really cool. So yeah, I'm gonna play around with this some more and get to know it a little more. It's really nice having a high MD now, a unit that can play and record high MD discs, and yeah. So anyway, if you guys liked the video, you know, give a like, thumbs up, whatever. Do what you guys do, and if you have any questions about Minidiscs or whatnot, or if you want to share your story of your Minidisc players and whatnot down below, then yeah, just leave a comment, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.